Hello everyone. In today's video, we'll be discussing the basic fundamental laws which are very helpful in solving various electrical problems, that is Kirchhoff's laws. Here we'll in this video we'll discuss two different laws, that is Kirchhoff's current law and Kirchhoff's voltage law. Coming to the learning objectives, for this video we'll be learning various terms related to DC circuits. Later we'll discuss what is Kirchhoff's current law, which is also called as Kirchhoff's first law, and next later we'll discuss Kirchhoff's voltage law, and finally we'll try to solve a problem on KVL and KCL. Coming to the Kirchhoff's law, Gustav Kirchhoff, he is a German physicist, introduced a set of laws which deal with current and voltage in the electrical circuits. In general, in any resistance circuits, equivalent resistance can be found when two or more resistors are connected together either in series, parallel, or combination of both. And in these circuits, all these components obey Ohm's law. So calculation of equivalent resistance will be simple, and this can be done using Ohm's law. But however, sometimes in complex circuits such as bridge or T networks, we cannot simply use Ohm's law alone to find voltages or currents circulating within the circuit. For these type of calculations, we need certain rules which allow us to obtain the circuit equation, and for this we can use Kirchhoff's circuit laws. In 1845, a German physicist, Gustav Kirchhoff, developed a pair of or a set of rules or laws which deal with the conservation of current and energy with electrical circuits. These two laws are commonly called as Kirchhoff's circuit laws, with one of the Kirchhoff's law dealing with current flowing around the closed circuit, that is Kirchhoff's current law, while the other law dealing with voltage sources present in a closed circuit, that is Kirchhoff's voltage law. Kirchhoff's law mainly deal with voltage and currents in the electrical circuits. These laws can be understood as a result of the Maxwell equation in low frequency limit. Kirchhoff's law are perfect for DC and AC circuit at frequencies where the electromagnetic radiation wavelengths are very large when we compare with the other circuit. So these are the points which led to the discovery or introduction of Kirchhoff's law. One law deals with the current that is flowing in a closed circuit, and the other law will be dealing with the voltage sources present in the closed circuit. These laws help in finding out the voltages and currents present in a complex circuits, whereas for a simpler circuits we can simply go for Ohm's law. Before, various relationships among voltages and currents in electrical circuits are determined by Kirchhoff's law. These laws are used to determine the impedance of complex network or equivalent electrical resistance and the current flowing in the several branches of the network. So here, before discussing what is all about Kirchhoff's voltage law or current law, there are several terms which may be new while dealing this point. So before going into the circuit details and calculation part, we'll discuss some basic terms which are related to the DC circuit. In this slide, we can observe a circuit with some resistors like R1, which are indicated by R1, R2, R3 and so on up to R8. We have 8 different resistors connected in some are in series fashion, some are in shunt. All these are in a closed circuit, and we have just connected it to a voltage source V. So here we can observe various points, various terms which need to be understood before we study what is Kirchhoff's current law and what is Kirchhoff's voltage law. So from this circuit we can uh, come out with some new terms. That is, first one is circuit. This is an old term itself, but what is meant by circuit? A circuit is nothing but a closed loop conducting lane in which an electrical current flows. So here what we are seeing, the circuit on the screen is nothing but a diagram which we are seeing on the screen is nothing but a circuit. Circuit is nothing but here it is a DC circuit in which it is a closed loop. In any circuit, we call it as it can be of two types: a circuit, open circuit or closed circuit. For flowing of current, it should be always closed. So in order to calculate either voltage or current or resistance, the circuit should be always closed. So in this diagram what we are seeing, everything is closed, nothing is kept open. All the connections are made perfect such that one component is connected to the other or so. So this circuit is called to be a closed circuit. But coming to the definition of a circuit, we say that a circuit is a closed conducting loop in which electrical current flows. For the flow of current, that circuit should be a closed one. Next, coming to the other definition, that is path. Path is nothing but a single line of conducting elements or sources. So here we can see many paths in the diagram. Like here we have a resistor R1, and this resistor is connected to other two resistors R3 and R2. So, and as well as it is connected to a voltage source V on the right hand side. On the left hand side, on the left it is connected to the voltage source V, and the right it is connected to two different resistors R3 and R2. Here, for the flow of current from the resistor R1, we find two different ways. These ways or lanes which are used to connect sources or elements is called as path. So for the resistor R1, there is one input path, that is from V, and two output paths, that is to R3 and to R2. So path is nothing but a single lane which is used to connect either sources or element. R1 is connected to a source V, and it is connected to other elements like R3 and R2. So path is, in a simple sense, it is nothing but connecting wires which make proper flow of current to flow in the circuit. Next is nothing but a branch. A branch is a single or group of components such as resistors or source which are connected between the two nodes. So before, what is meant by branch? Branch is nothing but a single group of components. Either it may be here on the left hand side we can see the resistors R6 and R7. There we can see that it can be said as a single branch. Like it can have either one or group of components, or it can be in combination of sources which are connected between the nodes. Nodes are nothing but the joining points. So first we'll discuss what is meant by node. Node is a junction. Here we can here in this diagram we find the green dots of near R1, R2, R3. We find a green dot. That point is a junction for R1, R2 and R3. And this, likewise we see a green dot uh, at connecting point called R3, R4 and R5. These 2 points are called as nodes. Node is, in a simple term, we can say it as a junction or connection term or terminal within a circuit where two or more circuit elements are connected or joined together, giving a connection point between two or more branches. Okay, so in general, in any circuit, nodes are indicated by a dot. So simply we can remember that node is nothing but a junction. It is a joining point of some number of component, some branches connected to one point is called as node. Next, coming to the branch is a single or group of components such as resistors or sources which are connected between the two nodes. Here in this diagram we see the resistor R3. It is connected between two nodes. Nodes are given with the green dots. So the resistor R3 is nothing but a branch, and at the same time the resistor R2 lane is called as a branch. R4 is called a branch. So there will be many branches. All these branches will be connected to one point, and that point is called as node. Okay. Next, what is meant by loop? Here in this diagram we find a violet color line on the left hand side, right hand side, written as loop. Loop is a simple closed path in a circuit in which no circuit element or node is encountered more than once. So circuit is nothing but a closed loop, and at the same time closed circuit. Loop is also a simple closed path, but the condition is that no circuit element or no node is encountered more than once. Here we find a node at resistors R4 and R5. We find a node, but that node is not encountered more than once. So the current will be flowing from R5, R6, R7, R4 and again to R5. So there are no nodes connected, or the flow of current is not again flowing to the same node, to the different node. So in a loop is a circuit or a closed path in which only one time current, or only once current will be flowing in the in those elements. And next definition is mesh. Mesh is a single closed loop series path. Mesh is a single closed loop series path that does not contain any path. And here other point is to be noted is there will be no loops inside a mesh. Okay, mesh is nothing but a single closed loop series path that does not contain any other paths, and no loops will be there inside a mesh. So these are the points which we have to keep it in mind while these are the points which we have to keep it in mind while we deal with any electrical circuit, and as of now while dealing with KVL and KCL. And along with these points like circuit, path, node, branch, loop and mesh, other points which we have to keep it in mind while dealing with any electrical circuit is that two main points are there. The first one is components are said to be connected together in series if the same current flows through all the components. And the second point is components are said to be connected together in parallel if they have same voltages applied across them. Okay, if connected in series, same current flows through all the components. When connected in parallel, when components are connected in parallel, they'll have same voltage applied across them. So these 2 points should be kept in mind while dealing with any electrical circuit. And the other basic point is that any meter can be connected in any electrical circuit for calculation of either voltage or current. In such case, when we are connecting a meter to measure voltage, we generally connect a voltmeter. That voltmeter should be always connected in parallel. Okay, the voltmeter connection in any circuit should be done in a parallel or shunt fashion. Whereas when we are connecting an ammeter for measurement of current in any circuit, that should be done, or that ammeter should be connected in series. So the other two points which you have to keep in mind when dealing with any electrical circuit for measurement of voltage or current is that voltmeter should be always connected in parallel, whereas ammeter should be always connected in series. Now we'll move on with this. We just got to know what is, or the introduction of Kirchhoff's law. What does Kirchhoff's law can do, and what are the basic terms which we need to know while dealing or calculating voltages and currents uh, in using Kirchhoff's voltage law and current law. And now our second learning objective is Kirchhoff's current law. Now we'll discuss in detail what is meant by Kirchhoff's current law. As we know what is meant by circuit, what is node, what is mesh, loop and all. Now we'll discuss in detail about Kirchhoff's current law. So Kirchhoff's current law simply can be called as KCL or Kirchhoff's current law, or it can also be called as Kirchhoff's first law. We can call it as either Kirchhoff current law or Kirchhoff's uh, first law. It states that the total current in a closed circuit, the total current in any closed circuit, the entering current at node is equal to the current leaving at the node. Okay, node, as we have already discussed what is meant by node. Node is a junction point of more than, or it is a connecting terminal of two or more circuit elements. Okay, node is simply a junction. So at a particular junction or particular node, the sum of the currents which are entering inside the circuit is equal to sum of the current leaving that particular node or junction. Or otherwise we can say that the algebraic sum of all the currents at any node in an electronic circuit is equal to 0. So node is nothing but a junction point where many branches come and join at that point. So the number of currents coming into the junction, or the number of the amount of current joining into the entering the node, is equal to the amount of current leaving at the node. Simple term we can say that, or simply we can say that the algebraic sum of all the currents at the node in an electronic circuit is equal to 0. And this idea of Kirchhoff is commonly called as conservation of charge. So Kirchhoff's current law or KCL is otherwise mentioned as it is known as conservation of charge. So to understand this in a better way, take this diagram. So here we have 5 different branches in which 5 different currents are flowing, and there is one dot. That dot is nothing but the node. So the currents I1, I2, I3 are coming towards the node. Those are nothing but incoming currents. The currents I4, I5 are flowing out from the node. That those are indicated in red color. So what I can say is that I1, I2, I3 are nothing but the input currents or incoming currents. I5 and I4 are the outgoing currents. So what Kirchhoff's current law is saying is that the sum of the incoming currents, that is nothing but I1, I2, I3, will be equal to sum of the outgoing currents, that is I4 and I5. Okay, or simply currents entering the node equals to the current leaving the node. So what I can write is that I1 plus I2 plus I3 will be equal to I4 plus I5. This is one way we can represent. Otherwise, what we can write is that the second definition says that the algebraic sum of all the currents at the node should be equal to 0. That is nothing but incoming currents I1, I2, I3. So I write it as I1 plus I2 plus I3. Whereas outgoing currents are I4 and I5. So I can write it as they are going away from the node or leaving the node, I write it as minus I4 minus I5 should be equal to all put together should be equal to 0. So what I write is that I1 plus I2 plus I3 minus I4 minus I5 should be equal to 0. So this is how we write, and this is on the screen. You can see that I1 plus I2 plus I3 minus I4 minus I5 should be equal to 0. So with this, what we got to know is that in any circuit, when we are applying KCL, we observe at the node what is the amount of current coming in and what is the amount of current going out. All these should be equal to 0. Then only the proper calculation of all the voltages and currents can be done. And coming to the other example, what I take is, here also there is one circuit to which some resistors are connected, and it has 6 branches, branch A, B, C, D, E and F. All these branches are connected to one point, and that point is called as node, or this node, or simply a junction. This is indicated with a dot. So the incoming currents to the node is equal to, what are the incoming currents here? We see A is incoming, B incoming, C and D are incoming, whereas E and F are outgoing. So what I can write is that sum of all the incoming is equal to sum of all outgoing, right? So A plus B plus C plus D will be equal to E plus F. Okay, or we can write it as A plus B plus C plus D minus E minus F is equal to 0. This is how we write an expression for KCL. So according to KCL, the sum of all the currents entering the node or sum of all the currents leaving the node should be equal to 0. Okay, right. Next, we'll move on with the third learning objective, that is nothing but Kirchhoff's voltage law. Likewise, Kirchhoff's current law, we have Kirchhoff's voltage law, which we can simply say it as KVL, or Kirchhoff's second law. KCL is nothing but the Kirchhoff's first law, whereas KVL is called as Kirchhoff's second law. KCL is called as conservation of charge, whereas KVL is known as conservation of energy. And before that, for the same like KCL, we have the same definition for KVL, but instead of current we write it as voltage. Okay, the algebraic sum KVL is defined as the algebraic sum of the voltages in the closed circuit is equal to 0, or the algebraic sum of the voltages at the node is equal to 0. This Kirchhoff's current voltage law is called as known as conservation of energy. What KVL is saying in brief is that in any closed loop network, the total voltage around the loop is equal to sum of all the voltage drops within the same loop, which is also equal to 0. In other words, the algebraic sum of all the voltages within the loop must be equal to 0. Okay. So here in this diagram we see uh, four different resistors R, and R, which are each resistor is connected to one branch. So AB is one branch, BC is one branch, CD is one, and DA are the four different branches which we see. Starting at any point in these are connected in a loop is nothing but a closed path in which no node is touched more than once, or current flows in any element only once. So this is nothing but loop. This point we have already discussed. So all these components are connected in a loop fashion. Okay, starting at any point in the loop, continue in the same direction, noting the direction of all the voltage drop, either positive or negative we can mention, and returning back to the same point. So it is important to maintain the same direction either in clockwise or anti-clockwise, or the final voltage will not be, otherwise the final voltages will not be equal to 0. So here the voltage across the resistor uh, R in the branch AB can be written as VAB. In general, what we know is that voltage should be collected or obtained across 2 points. So here the 2 points for the resistor R in the branch AB can be written as VAB. In the branch, the voltage drop is first branch AB, the voltage drop can be written as VAB. Likewise, for the other branches, the voltage can be written as VBC, VCD, third branch, and fourth branch is VDA. So all these voltages should be equal to 0. So what I can write as is VAB plus VBC plus VCD plus VDA is equal to 0. Likewise, we'll see uh, another example for KVL. In this diagram also we see different voltage source A and various components like uh, B, C, D, E, F, which are connected in a loop. Here the voltage source is A, is connected to 5 passive components. These are namely B, C, D, E and F. These have different voltage differences across them. So arithmetically the voltage difference between these components which we add together, because these components are connected in series, so either we can take it in clockwise direction or in anti-clockwise direction. The direction should always remain the same. So if I take in anti-clockwise direction, A plus F plus E plus D plus C plus B should be equal to 0. So in any loop, the sum of all the voltage drops in those respective components should be equal to 0. If not equal to 0, we have to correct our corrections. Right? So this is all about KVL, which is nothing but Kirchhoff's voltage law, which we can state it as conservation of energy. Right? So as of now we have discussed the points of various uh, uh, learning objectives, like we have discussed the what is all about Kirchhoff's current, what is all about KVL and KCL, and we have discussed and derived some basic terminology related to DC circuit, and later we have discussed about KCL and KVL. With this knowledge, we'll try to calculate the current that is flowing in a circuit. So here I have taken a circuit. This circuit we can observe a circuit which has a voltage source V1 which of 10 volts, voltage source V2 is of 20 volts, and we have three resistors R1, R2 and R3. So R1 has 10 ohms, R2 20 ohms, R3 40 ohms. So two different currents are flowing here, three different currents are flowing here. I1 is flowing in R1, I2 in R2, and R3 I3 is a current that is flowing in R3. Here we can find two loops. One is indicated with the letter number 1, and there is another loop in the right hand side, that is loop 2. So two different loops are there, and here we have several branches, like R1 branch, we have R2, next R3, three different branches we have. See, all these branches are connected to two different nodes. The first node is A, where node A has is a junction point for terminals of branches R1, R3 and R2. Same likewise, B is a node, or it is a junction point for the branches R3, the voltage branches V1 and V2. Okay, this is a basic this is a basic idea of what we get seeing into this circuit. So what we are trying to say is that for this particular circuit, we'll try to calculate the current that is flowing in the resistor R3, that is 40 ohms resistor. We'll try to calculate the current that is flowing into the R3 resistor using the concepts that we have discussed right now, that is KVL and KCL. So this circuit, coming to the solution, this circuit has three branches and two nodes, that is A and B, and two independent loops, loop 1 and loop 2. At node A, what I can write is that node A, based on KCL, what I can write, incoming currents are I1 and I2, outgoing current is I3. So at node A, I can write I1 at node A, sum of currents, incoming currents is I1, outgoing incoming currents is I1 and I2, outgoing currents are I3. So what I can write is that I1 plus I2 is equal to I3. And coming to the node B, what I can write is that outgoing incoming current is I3 and outgoing currents are I1 and I2. So what I can write for node B, what I can write is that I3 is equal to I1 plus I2. These two can be done, these two can be written based on Kirchhoff's current law. And when we apply KVL, the equations in the loop 1, if I apply KVL, what I can write is that 10 volts is equal to I1 R1, that is voltage drop in the resistor R1, plus I1 I3 R3 is equal to 10 I1 plus 40 I3. And for the same KVL can be applied to loop 2. Then what I can write is that total voltage drop should be equal to 0, or incoming voltages should be equal to outgoing. So 20 volts is equal to voltage drop across the resistor R2, that is I2 R2, plus voltage drop across the resistor R3 I3 R3 should be equal to 20 I2 plus 40 I3. and the voltage in the total loop. This is loop 3. So the total voltage in the loop 3 can be written as 10 volts minus 20 volts is equal to 10 I1 plus 10 I1 plus minus 20 I2. As I3 is sum of I1 plus I2, we can write the equations as 10 right. So equation I2 using KVL, we got all these equations from loop 1, loop 2, loop 1, loop 2 and loop 3. So for loop 1, loop 2, loop 3, these are the equation what we got. For the equation of I2, we can write it as the equation 1 is equal to 10 is equal to 10 I1 plus 40 I1 plus I2 is equal to 50 I1 plus 40 I2. Equation 2 can be written as 20 is equal to 20 I2 plus 40 I1 plus I2 is equal to 40 I1 plus 60 I2. Now we have two concurrent equations which can be reduced to give the values of I1 and I2. Replacement of I1 in terms of I2 gives a value of I1 that will give you a value of minus 0.143 amps, and a replacement of I2 in terms of I1 gives you a value of I2 that is plus 0.429 amperes. Sorry. So in this we got so here we have calculated the value of I1 and I2, which is nothing but I1 is minus 0.143 and I2 is 0.429. Initially what we have discussed is now in this we are calculating the value of I3. So initially, well, in the starting of the problem I told you that I3 sum of incoming currents is equal to sum of outgoing current. I3 will be equal to I1 plus I2. As we have calculated the value of I1 and I2, we can simply uh, calculate the value of I3 with these values of I1 and I2. So I3 is simply I1 plus I2. So when we combine both these, that is nothing but 0.143 plus 0.429 gives you a value of 0.286 amperes. So the current that is flowing in the resistor R3 is simply 0.286 amperes, and the voltage that is flowing across the resistor R3 will be equal to 11.44 volts. As we know that according to Ohm's law, V is equal to IR, we can write voltage V can be calculated by its current into resistance. As we know that R3 has a resistance of 40 ohms, and the current just now we have calculated, and it is a value of 0.286. So 40 into 0.286 gives you a value of 11.44 volts. Okay, so the negative sign for the I in the direction of flow of current initially preferred was wrong. In fact, the 20 volts battery is charging 10 volts battery. So this point we have to keep in mind regarding this circuit. So whatever may be the case, so what we have derived is that with the basic concepts of currents and voltages, and with the simple logic of voltage law and current law, we have calculated the value of voltage as well as current in this complex circuit. Okay, so by applying KCL, I have calculated the value of current in the resistor R3, and with that I have calculated the value of voltage also by using the formula for Ohm's law. So with this what I can say is that Kirchhoff's voltage law and current law are the laws which are very efficiently useful for calculating the values of voltages and currents in complex circuits, T circuits, pi circuits and all. We can calculate all the voltages and currents value very efficiently. Whereas for simpler circuits we can go with the Ohm's law, whereas for complex circuits as Ohm's law may not give accurate values, or sometimes it may be uh, very difficult in calculating all these points. So we can use uh, these laws like Kirchhoff's circuit laws for complex circuits for calculation of voltages and currents. The other point is that Ohm's law sometimes they have some limitations, like they cannot be used for non-linear circuit or unilateral circuits. We cannot be using all these calculation of Ohm's law may not be suitable. For those things also we can be using Kirchhoff's circuit laws, that is current law and voltage law. So with this I conclude this video, and in the next video we'll come up with the other